Hey guys, the Franchise Goat here, and welcome back to our Memphis Grizzlies franchise on NBA 2K20. This is episode number 3 of our Memphis Grizzlies franchise, and today we're going to play this game against the Phoenix Suns. And then after that, we're going to simulate up a little bit. Take a quick look at Phoenix, one of the worst teams in the league the last few years. They do have Devin Booker, who's a legit star, and DeAndre Ayton, who is becoming a legit star. Also, Diallo, who's a guy who you'll see a lot of in the game as a bench player. But we're going to get straight into this game in just a second. As you can see, we're 1-3 at this point. We obviously have Ja Morant and Jonas Valanciunas leading our team at the moment in terms of scoring. And I am going to go and make sure the settings are correct, which they are, which is good for right now. And then just real quick scouting, just wanted to see the percentages we're at, around 40, so not too bad. And now we're going to get right into this game, which will be the main part of today's episode. There's a starting lineups, what they look like, how they compare. Obviously Devin Booker, a guy who we don't have much for. And I just thought I'd let you guys see this intro because I thought it was pretty cool, national anthem. We're at home.
It's always fun to look around and see fans singing our Stars Spangled Banner, getting in the spirit.
Coming back home at 1-3, hoping for a nice home victory. We'll see if we can get it. Phoenix Suns, a team that's pretty good in the game. As you can see, looking a little bit, Jaren Jackson averaging about 14 points. Devin Booker averaging almost 35 so far this season in a small sample size. He's shooting 50% from three, which is kind of ridiculous. Alright, we'll get right into the game. Just about ready to tip off from FedEx Forum. See, the Suns sitting at 3-2 so far, so they're off to a much better start than we are to their season. And obviously, we hope to reverse the trend. They will hope to continue the trend. As you see, Ja Morant, our superstar. And a quick look at the Western Conference standings. The Suns are in it at the moment. It's obviously super early. We're 2.5 games out, 1 game out of a playoff spot, but only 4 games of the year.
And right now for Phoenix, they played some good basketball this year. They have to consider this season to be a success.
And Phoenix is going to win the tip. And Ricky Rubio will take the ball up the court to begin this home game for the Memphis Grizzlies. And as you'll see, Ricky Rubio is going to cut behind, and he's going to dish out the rebound to Kelly Oubre, who's knocking down a 3. That'd be a trend as Phoenix takes an early lead. 5-0 now. As you can see, Phoenix getting some early points on the board. Ja Morant with a little pull-up there gets us on the board at 5-2. 12-4 as Phoenix had the much better start in this game. As you'll see, they were on fire early in the game. Jay Crowder here kicks out. Jaren Jackson's going to pull a 3. Not exactly his game. He knocks it down. It was pretty open there as the defenders seemed to go with Crowder, so just took it and made it. 19-9, though, is a very poor start for us, as Morant will go to the rim and draw a foul. It seemed like Phoenix was making almost every single shot in this first half. They just couldn't miss, it seemed like. And you'll see that'll be a trend, is that our offense scores okay, but we just couldn't do anything defensively to stop this Phoenix team in the game. 19-13, though, we're on a little run trying to cut the deficit. Ja's going to pull around. Good kick out to Brooks, who knocked down the triple. And it's 19-16, so we have a couple threes here early in the game, trying to get ourselves back in. But as you can see, Phoenix just could not be stopped offensively in this game. See DeAndre Ayton up top. He's going to dish to Rubio underneath to Baines, knocks down the shot. And we're going to take a timeout as Phoenix has put up 25 points on us in just over 6 minutes. They were rolling as 29-18 now, with only about 2 minutes left. in the first quarter. Outside to Melton, he's going to roll in, passes it across to Jonas Valanciunas, across to Clark, who knocks down a little mid-range. And our offense was playing pretty well, but as you can see, 76% shooting from the field for Phoenix in this first quarter. And unfortunately, it would continue near the end of the first quarter. We pulled it back a little bit. Ricky Rubio here on the kick out. Tyler Johnson into the corner here with just a little bit left on the shot clock, but he is going to knock down the triple. 37-26 here, as the shot clock turned off here at the end of the first quarter. Trying to find something here with Tyus Jones. Ricky Rubio is on us. I was trying to hold here for one shot. We'll drive inside. Valanciunas steps out, kicks out to Clark, who is going to miss. Valanciunas will miss the putback, and the first quarter is over. Phoenix leading 37-26, an explosive first quarter from the Suns. They could not be stopped from the field. As we'll start off the second quarter here, hoping to fare a little bit better. Our offense was solid. Defense just needs to improve here in the second quarter. As right away, down low to Clark, and he went to work down low. Good pass across. Valanciunas, with a man in his face, is going to miss the shot, and Phoenix comes down the floor. As you see, 45-30, the Phoenix offensive barrage continues in this game. Ja Morant trying to find space. He's going to dish out to Crowder, who's going to take a three and knock it down. He can knock down some threes. We saw it in Boston. However, Phoenix does lead by 12 points here early. As you see, Phoenix continuing to build upon their lead, though Ja Morant down low to Jaren Jackson, who finishes nicely. And it's 14. Phoenix just, as I said, their offense was ridiculous in this first quarter. As you see DeAndre Ayton down low, they were passing, they were getting through us so easily. So obviously defense something we need to work on with this team. However, offense playing a lot better. Ja Morant will go right to the basket there off a great pass from Crowder. He's fouled, and he will get himself to the line for a couple more free throws. He had already shot 4 in this game. These two will make it 6. And he was perfect 6 for 6 from the line. He's a great free throw shooter. So we're at least keeping ourselves in range here at the end of the first half. Down by only 15 here with about a minute and a half to go. Here you see Anderson off the drive. He's going to miss. However, Valanciunas gets the rebound. Good offensive board. He is fouled. Now, Valanciunas, not as good of a free throw shooter, though he does have 12 points in the early going. You'll see he makes the first. He's going to miss the second. And our lead stands at 14 with about a minute and a half to go. Phoenix puts a little distance on us here at the end of the half, though Valanciunas continues to dominate in this game. Cuts the lead back down to 14, as we are just hoping to keep ourselves in range for a potential second half that could be big. However, great pass down low to Aaron Baines. He makes it 16 again, and we have just a couple second difference between game and shot clock. I tried to go quickly here. Over to Valanciunas. He drives, puts up a layup, however it misses. And Phoenix has a chance here to capitalize with just about 10 seconds left on the game clock in the half. Devin Booker passes down low to Aaron Baines. Baines drives to the rim and is fouled. So maybe not the smartest foul there, but we put Baines at the line with a chance to give Phoenix an 18-point lead heading into halftime. And as you'll see, Baines does just that, makes it 68-50, a 68-point half given up by our defense, which is not ideal. Last second heave from Jones, but he's going to miss. And that will do it for the half. Quick look at the stats. Suns shooting at 60%. It was ridiculous. Valanciunas had a great first half, as you can see, 16 points and 6 rebounds. But besides that, a lot of our big guys were fairly cold. And as you'll see, things do not get any better in the third quarter. Though Valanciunas knocks down a little mid-range to open it up and cut the lead to 16. Phoenix just continued to pull away. Our offense finally went on a little bit of a cold spell. Phoenix, as you'll see, coming down. You got Dario Saric here. He's going to kick out to Oubre, who knocks down the triple. And we had no answers for Phoenix in this game. Our offense finally goes cold here. Phoenix going on a run. DeAndre Ayton goes to the rim, makes this a 22-point Phoenix lead, and they were pulling away with this game quickly here in the third quarter. Ja Morant tries to answer. Good pass here to Jackson, who finishes. And our offense trying to get something going, but unfortunately it would not be nearly enough, as you'll see. Phoenix just continuing to flow here. What a great pass inside. Devin Booker with the finish. And we're on the brink of going down 30 points here midway through the third quarter. A dreadful third quarter for our offense. Morant misses again. He went cold in this quarter. Phoenix goes up forward on the front foot again, underneath to Booker. He finishes once again. And as you'll see, Phoenix has a 32-point lead now, and there was almost nothing we could do. Our offense just stopped playing, trying to get ourselves off our cold streak. We finally do. As you'll see, Clark knocks down the shot. But Phoenix leads by 30. Continuing that trend, Phoenix with a 32-point lead with about a minute and a half left. Morant's going to pass down low to Jackson. He's going to miss the layup. He struggled a lot in this game. He had some points, but he had a lot of opportunities. Easy layups that he missed. Devin Booker is not going to miss layups. He goes right to the rim. And we are going to call timeout with a minute 26 left in the quarter just to try and gather ourselves after what has been a horrid quarter of basketball, both offensively and defensively from Memphis, with just a minute 26 left. We will try our best to get something going here. Jones in the game as Ja Morant sits. Jones is going to try and go inside to the basket unsuccessfully. Kicks out to Valanciunas, who's going to knock down a mid-range. As I said, his mid-range game is excellent for a center. I really like that, his ability to kind of kick out to the wing and hit those easy shots. Once we have a good team around it, it will be a lot better. As you can see, Phoenix is going to take a three here and knock it down. 101 points here, and we still have time in the third quarter. An embarrassing defensive performance by our Memphis Grizzlies. Trying to do something offensively. Valanciunas goes to the rim. He's going to kick it out to Clark. Back to Valanciunas. Valanciunas back down low to Clark. As our big men playing down low. Though it's kicked out to Melton, Valanciunas gets another mid-range look and he buries it yet again. He was shooting excellently today. Really a great shooting performance by him. And that was impressive. One of the few bright spots of this ball game. Just about 24 seconds left to go in what has become a blowout. As you can see, Baines drives down low. Valanciunas gets a hand on it the first time. Baines will finish it the second time. That's just the story of our game. Offensive rebound after a pretty solid defensive play. And there's nothing we can do about it. Trying to get a bucket right before the end of the quarter. Clark's going to miss. Phoenix will take a long three, but it rims out. And after three, it is Phoenix 103, Memphis 68. After an embarrassing quarter of basketball from the Memphis Grizzlies. Take a look at the State Farm assist of the game because I thought this was a pretty cool one. Ricky Rubio behind the back to Baines. Pretty intense passing there. But as this game has become a blowout, I'm not going to waste you guys' time with a lot of the fourth quarter. As you'll see, we're going to jump right to the end of the fourth quarter. We're down 120 to 90, so it really didn't get any better. We narrowed the gap a tiny bit, but still not a particularly great fourth quarter. Phoenix threatening to try and get a little bit more even. I still had our starters out at the end of the game just because I wanted them to get some more experience, especially Morant, Jackson. And as you'll see, Phoenix with probably their last offensive possession, and then we should get one more possession. taking a long time in the corner. The three rims out. Clark grabs the rebound, throws it up to Morant. Jackson is going to drive down inside. He's going to pull up from a little mid-range, misses, and that will do it. A 120-90 victory for the Phoenix Suns. They come into Memphis and they absolutely destroy the Memphis Grizzlies, who dropped to 1-4 to start the season. So not the start that we were looking for. But as I said, we weren't expecting to be a great team this year. We will bounce back, and we will get better. Looking at the stats, Jonas Valanciunas had the best game by far. 28-14. John Morant had 17 and 11 assists. Jaren Jackson, 14. Clark had 12. You can see guys like Crowder and Brooks, who have starting minutes, just not stepping up at all, and our bench scoring has not been there. As for Phoenix, they had some great performances. You didn't see a lot of them because I cut out some of their points that they scored, but Devin Booker had a great game. Rubio as well, double-double. So did Diallo. He was dunking all over the place. Baines had a good game. Oubre, you just see player after player had double figures. And even some of their starters didn't do great, but they had limited minutes, didn't really play at the end of a blowout like that. So after that game, I thought it's time to pull the trigger on a move that I knew we needed to make. Andre Iguodala needs to leave this team. He got traded a few days ago in real life. And I decided to package Jay Crowder in with the deal just to see what we could get. And as you'll see, we end up getting quite a lot. A blockbuster between us and the San Antonio Spurs. You can pause to read all the pieces. Basically, it's Iguodala, Jay Crowder, and a first-round pick from like 4 years in the future. And we get back San Antonio's first this year. And Rudy Gay, who was mainly just being brought back for salary purposes. But he will slot in. The next minute in the background, I'm going to be adjusting the minutes, as you'll see. Rudy Gay is not going to be a starter. I don't want him taking up the starting role of a player like Grayson Allen, or I don't want him taking up that many minutes, because players like Grayson Allen have the potential to get better. Rudy Gay is older, and he really is not going to get much better at this point in his career. The minutes won't change too much. It's just a couple guys who are going to get switched around. And I wanted to give Grayson a little bit of a shot at the shooting guard. We actually picked up a decent shooting guard in the trade, as you'll see at the bottom, or if you saw on the trade screen. I'm forgetting his name right now, but we'll see it in a minute. So he probably in the future might get some minutes, but we'll see about all that. Obviously, the main core of our team staying where it is. John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas are all going to continue to play a high number of minutes that they have been playing. Hopefully, Ja can make a comeback and win Rookie of the Year. We'll see. I know in real life he's the odds maker's favorite, but obviously this is a video game, so it's a little bit different. As you see, we took Grayson Allen out of that starting role at the end of the day. And it was Carroll. He's actually a small forward, but he's a decent shooter. So he's a guy who might get a little bit of time as well. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. As you can see, we're going to move Rudy Gay into a bench role. He is a high overall power forward, but I don't really think he profiles much as a small forward, and I want to get Brandon Clark some minutes there. Again, a guy who's younger, maybe has a little more future potential than Rudy Gay, but he's an interesting piece to get back. I've considered putting him on as a mentor for Jaren Jackson. I didn't do it in this episode, but I'm considering doing it in the future because I think he would be excellent in that role. But I think an important move for us, the most important part of that obviously is the first round pick, because we do not have our own first round pick this year. The Boston Celtics actually have that, because it seems like the Celtics get a high first round pick every year that isn't theirs, and I say that as a Celtics fan. I love it as a Celtics fan, but if I was a fan of a team like the Grizzlies, I'd be really annoyed that we're rebuilding and all of a sudden we don't have our first. It ends up with Boston. But yeah, now we are going to simulate ahead a little bit and try and get ahead in our schedule. We're going to go a little while without playing a game. We're going to try and get pretty deep into the month of December. I'm just going to talk about my plans for the team, as you can see. I want to keep Jaren Jackson, but he's a guy who maybe could move. We're going to find out a little more about him. There's two guys who are staples on this team. As you'll see trade offers pop up, I didn't make any others. I declined all of the rest because I thought they weren't going to help our team. But there are two guys on this team who I really think are staples of this team for the future. And they are obviously John Morant and Jonas Valanciunas. He's been probably my favorite player to play with. As you see the scouting, I'm just going to leave it how it is, the two times it pops up. He has been my favorite player to play with. He's a center, works hard in the post, gets good rebounding numbers, but he can also bounce out. He can make three. He can make the three. It's pretty rare, but he's an excellent mid-range shooter. As you see, we get an upset win over Golden State. Because in this game, Golden State actually has Steph and Clay, so it would be impressive for us to beat them. But yeah, those are my plans for the team. Jaren Jackson, for now, is good. I would love to try and draft a guard or a small forward, like a shooting guard or a small forward. We'll see where that Spurs pick is. The Spurs are kind of a question mark team. And we'll take a look later in the year as to where the Spurs actually are located in the standings. We also have another pick, but it's conditional, so it can't be that high. As you see, I was actually contemplating whether or not we should play Utah for our next game, and I decided against it because I wanted a slightly easier team. As you can see, though, we have won some games here. And our record's looking not as terrible as it did earlier in the year. We beat a couple decent teams in there, Golden State being one of them. We beat the Jazz. They were a playoff. They're usually a playoff team. So not too bad of a start to our season. Numbers getting a little bit better in simulation. I'm wondering if maybe John Morant's getting better, Jaren Jackson's getting better. Maybe the presence of Rudy Gay has really helped them. But we have 4 wins in a row here going into this game against Utah. As you'll see, there's just a player we don't really care about. I put him back in the G League, as you'll see. But yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of plans for this team. The offseason is going to be important, specifically for us to figure out. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go after any big-name free agents. I want to keep it realistic. So, realism means that I'm not going to go sign Giannis to play for the Memphis Grizzlies because there's about a 0.01% chance that Giannis would sign with Memphis. Like, it's one thing if I was the Knicks or the Lakers or something and I wanted to go after Giannis. That's more realistic. You know, in real life, that could happen. But I want to keep this realistic. I don't want to be going after crazy free agents. But we might be able to pick up some role players, and then the draft is really where we're going to try to improve. As you see, we've simulated up. We ended up losing 4 in a row after winning 4 in a row, so we're a little bit of a streaky team. 11-4 though, or 11-14 is a little bit better than I actually thought we'd be at. Not too bad. We're a 500 team at home. We don't have any players of the week. If you want to look at them, there they are. And player of the month. And we did not have a rookie of the month either. It was RJ, and then it was Zion in the West. So, not looking great for John Morant to win Rookie of the Year, but obviously that's something he can make a comeback on. You'll see his stats in a short time. So obviously that's something he can improve on. And we're going to go through our player stats right now. Ja is at 19.5 points per game, so 20 points per game scorer. That's really solid for him. I was looking through his potential here, as you'll see in a minute, but I think, NBA is weird because it gives you the A or A plus number. He has an A potential. I definitely think he will become a 90 overall, probably a little higher. I would put him as maybe a 91 or a 92 once he hits his peak. But we'll see. He could be slightly better, or he could max out at like an 89. That'd be annoying because I think he's going to be a great player in real life. But we'll see what happens. He is developing. He's having a solid season. 20 points a game is not something I can be upset about. and he's our leading scorer, which is good. Him and Valanciunas are very close, as you'll see. Valanciunas has 19, and averaging 12 rebounds a game is really solid. Rudy Gay putting in some excellent numbers off the bench as well. That's good to see from him. Clark at 14. Jaren Jackson at 13. Also has 5 rebounds a game. I'd like to see him getting a few more rebounds, but that's okay. So yeah, not too terrible from our higher players. Brooks only about 10 points. Grayson Allen about 10 points as well. Melton and Jones really struggling. At some point, we will get better backup guards. It just might take a little bit. As you'll see, just right at the end, I looked through to make sure all of our minutes and stuff were the way I wanted them to be. And they are pretty much the way I want them. We have a 9-man rotation, which is fine with me. So yeah, that's going to just about wrap up this episode of Memphis Grizzlies franchise. I know this was kind of a long one. But in the next episode, we are going to be taking on the Washington Wizards, hoping to improve to 12 and 14 as we near Christmas. So far, we've been pretty good with what we've wanted to do, and hopefully we can get better in the future. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in episode number 4. Take care.